If you can't see us, hear us on our podcast, sponsored by Dana-Farber. When we make a discovery, the world changes.
What's the lure of Bernie Sanders for America's young? Some thoughts from Time Magazine national correspondent Charlotte Alter, author of the new book, The Ones We've Been Waiting For.
After two strong showings by Bernie Sanders in the last 2 weeks, many of you may be wondering why so many young people are enthralled with the 78-year-old socialist. Here's the thing. Baby boomers who grew up during the Cold War were taught that socialism led to communism, and communism threatened American freedom. When they think of socialism, they think of the Soviet Union, with its gulags and bad economy. But the millennials who support Sanders or Warren didn't grow up with that history.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
The oldest of them turned 8 the year the Berlin Wall fell. To many of them, socialism means universal health care, child care, and free college, like in many parts of Europe. In fact, for many people my age, it's runaway capitalism, not creeping socialism, that's had the worst impact on our lives. Millennials came of age during the 2008 financial crisis. They're burdened by soaring college debt and can't afford many of the things their parents took for granted, like owning homes or cars. They're confronting a climate crisis that will leave parts of the world uninhabitable for their children. That's why they're tilting to the left. I'm not arguing in favor of democratic socialism. I'm a journalist, not an activist. But I do think that many Americans fundamentally misunderstand the trend. When millennials say they're socialists, they mean they want to elect leaders who will address the affordability crisis in housing, healthcare, childcare, and college tuition, and move aggressively on climate. And yes, they want higher taxes on the wealthy to pay for it. It used to be that the American government was actually ambitious about solving social problems. The progressives started the minimum wage and the income tax and ended child labor.
Supported by his New Deal advisors,
FDR established Social Security and put millions of people to work building roads, bridges, and schools. LBJ enacted Medicare for the elderly and Medicaid for the poor.
We are the only major country on earth not to guarantee health care to all.
Right or wrong, those big structural changes Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren talk about so much are just as American as any of those other bold reforms in our history. You may not like what they're asking for, but at least these progressives are trying to meet big challenges with big ideas for a better world.
Commentary from Charlotte Alter. And now to Margaret Brennan in Washington for a look at what's ahead on Face the Nation. Good morning.